866-296-4444. We are open and here to help you during this time. Thanks.
City Councilman Bob Keller here. Keep it tuned to 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS, hometownstation.com, for the latest information regarding COVID-19. KHTS will have both national and local news and information during this unprecedented time. For more, go to the KHTS website or the KHTS Facebook page. KHTS is also available online in the free app for iPhone and Android. Continue to social distance, only going out if it's absolutely necessary, and continue to check on friends and family. With your help, we will flatten the curve and come through this stronger than ever.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter Schools' Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I am Matt Watson, your host. Welcome in. While our campuses are closed, our students are at home. They're with you, and you are working and coordinating alongside your school and your school district. KHTS, in collaboration with SCVi and iLEAD Schools, brings you this special edition of Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. We are here to support the work that you're doing, to be there for you as you work with your kids, maintaining the growth and learning. We're also here to help you take care of you. We come to you live each day at 9 a.m., providing support and updates for you on your distance learning journey. We also are continually curating and adding new resources for you on our website. Go to homeschoolinganswers.com and check out. We've got all kinds of resources for you. Academic, we've got parenting tips, we've got princesses reading stories to your kids, all kinds of stuff. So head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com. Check out the resources that we've got there. If we don't have what you need, shoot us an email at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. That's homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. Let us know what you can't find. Let us know what you need, or just let us know what you're struggling with, and we will try to address it as soon as we can. We've got another great show today. We've got Mayor Cameron Smyth on the line. He'll be on the air with us here in just a minute. He's here to update us on the state of our city and to let us know what's what. So if you've got questions, go ahead and start posting on the Facebook Live feed now. We'll also be talking with Nicole Huguenin, member of the iLEAD Maker team in charge of curriculum development. Nicole is our art specialist. She'll be helping us find easy resources for art projects with our kids. As always, we'll be hearing from our show's official licensed marriage and family therapist as well, Christina Debray, and we just might have some time for a little food for thought today. Well, the weather's warming up. It is a nice day out there. There's going to be a meteor shower lighting up the sky this week. We'll have a little bit more details on that later in the show. But you've got nowhere to go, so settle in and let's do this. You know our first guest is our city's 4-term mayor. You know that he's served our community in political office for 20 years now. You may also know that he also works for Molina Healthcare as their vice president of state affairs. You probably know that he served as our state assemblyman from 2006 to 2012. But did you know that prior to that, Mayor Cameron Smyth worked in communications with the Shell Oil Company? Did you know before all that, he received his degree in rhetoric and communications from UC Davis, where he also showed off his athletic prowess? And did you know that before all of that, he was a standout student and 4-sport athlete at Hart High School? And did you further know that he was Hart High School's first ever all-CIF boys volleyball player? That's right, and he is one of just a few true OG Santa Claritans born and raised. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, doing all right.
Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us, as you do every week. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to guess that you were probably not only Hart's first all-CIF boys volleyball player, but you may have been the Valley's first all-CIF boys volleyball player. Didn't Hart have the first boys volleyball team in the Valley?
No, so I appreciate the question, but in all honesty, no. Canyon actually had the first boys team, and there were some very excellent players that came out of Canyon during that that time. So as much as I'd like to claim that to be the case, I think the limits start at Hart High School.
Gotcha.
So,
I thought
not quite the Valley.
I thought you guys were the first, but still tremendous honor. But we're not here to talk about volleyball today. That was last week. Today we're talking about your track career. So tell us about your track career. What events did you compete in?
So I was a hurdler, and that was my focus. But see, again, this is where life is always against me, Matt. And so my older brother actually holds the Hart High school record in the boys 300 low hurdles. And the reason why I was unable to beat that record is after it was the boys JV 300 low hurdles. After he moved up to varsity, they eliminated the event, and they made everything the 300 intermediate hurdles. So he was the last class to run the boys 300 low hurdles. And so forever, my brother holds the school record that I could never beat because the event no longer exists.
You are right. You know how familiar with your bio I am, and life has truly dished you a rough
Isn't
go
it?
of it. Yeah.
So my son, and and it just kind of circling back. My son is a sophomore, and he runs the hurdles as well. And it was kind of his goal to beat my record, my brother's records, but unfortunately didn't get that opportunity given the closure of the schools. And he was able to run. I think they had 2 track meets, and then obviously, along with all the other sports, ended up missing out. And that's that's a reality that unfortunately the kids that from the Valley are facing. Much I joke about losing the opportunity to beat my brother's record, but at least I was able to run.
Sure.
And these kids, particularly the seniors who had been working their whole careers, finally get that starting spot on the varsity baseball team or the softball team, or it's going to be their year in track, and they're not able to even compete, and that's really hard. And I know that my son and his friends and thousands of other student athletes in the Valley had to take that hit, and that's very unfair.
It is. It's rough, and like you said, especially for our seniors who, whether they're highly competitive or not, just maybe looking forward to senior year with the team. This is going to be the best year ever, and that kind of got cut short or fizzled before it even started. It really is rough. Yesterday I reached out to a lot of all of the area high school principals, going to try to get some of those seniors on the air to kind of spotlight what they've done in the past and what they're going to be doing in the future. It's really important that we honor our kids who are really sacrificing so much right now. So
absolutely.
Do you have a particular highlight in your track career, something that you're particularly proud of? I know you weren't able to break your brother's record, but is there something special that you remember?
Well, the one thing I was able to do that my brother was not is I actually did run varsity as a sophomore, and so my first varsity letter actually came out of running track, and so that's something that I'm always proud of, and maybe while my brother can brag about the school record, I can at least give it back to him that I didn't even run. I didn't even run for JV as a sophomore. I was running varsity, so that helps. But I remember being able to train with all the seniors when I was a freshman. My brother was a senior, and all the hurdle and middle distance and sprinters kind of trained together. And I just remember hanging out with some of these guys that I had looked up to since I was a kid, and I still see some of them now, and you still kind of laugh about those days.
Yeah.
Running on the dirt track, trying not to wipe out coming out of the blocks, or the injuries of going over the hurdles. And so, I think like most people, you don't necessarily remember specific games or races, but you remember your teammates, you remember your classmates, and all the fun, things that you did together. So those are the things that I think you remember.
Definitely. I'm glad you were able to do that. That is cool. So now yesterday, Mr. Mayor, you squared up against us and you delivered your weekly update right in the middle of our show, giving our listeners a really difficult choice between two good-looking, well-informed public servants in our community and me. Because you were joined yesterday by Santa Clarita Sheriff Station Captain Justin Diaz. Can you recap a little bit for us? Where do we stand in regards to the coronavirus and the related restrictions and recommendations?
Sure. I think the first highlight that I shared yesterday and want to reiterate is a bit of good news. Since March, for about the last month, a number of City Hall employees were either put on paid administrative leave or were working remotely from their homes so that we could maintain all of our requirements around distancing and to ensure that our employees were protected. And this week we have started to slowly reevaluate and bring some of those employees back to work, back to City Hall or back to their city locations, which, while it's not a big deal, it still is a movement in the right direction, in that we can, again, get some of these city employees who have not been working for the past month but want to get back to work and work on behalf of the community, and being able to do that, or people who have been working remotely, and we know that is a challenge for others, for some more than others, and being able for them to come back to their offices and their stations at City Hall is a movement in the positive. Now, City Hall itself remains closed, but the more staff we have back at work, the better services we can provide to the residents. And so that was some positive news going forward. You look at the trend lines in Santa Clarita about numbers of positive tests, numbers of hospitalizations. You can kind of see that we're pretty consistent day over day in terms of the numbers. We're not really seeing any decline per se, but not really seeing any increases as well. So our number of positive cases seem to be relatively within a 2 or 3 person range. We knew there'd be a little bit of a spike last week because we opened up the mobile testing site. So obviously, the more people that are tested, the more positive we'll get. Positive reactions will,
sure.
We'll get positive diagnoses. We'll get. So that was to be expected. We have 35 residents currently in the hospital for treatment, and that is a number that is manageable for our hospital staff. And as long as it continues to be along those lines, Henry Mayo will be okay. And that's kind of what the whole flattening of the curve means. It doesn't mean that you're going to have fewer numbers per se of positive tests or people who have contracted the virus, but it's spread out over a longer period of time, and so you avoid that big spike that you've seen in other countries or other states, and that's what puts the real stress on the healthcare system. So as long as we continue along this path in Santa Clarita, Henry Mayo is going to have the resources to provide the treatment to their patients without really seeing a big strain.
Fantastic. So you mentioned City Hall employees. Some of the City Hall employees are returning. Does that mean that we can expect that more services are back online now? And if so, can you highlight a few of those?
So I think we've tried to maintain as many services as possible, just at again, either a reduced staff or people working remotely. So unfortunately, we're actually going to have to pull back on some of our programs. It's not a surprise, but the programs in our seasons magazines for the spring and summer, many of those programs are not going to be able to be fulfilled just because of either budgetary concerns that we have at the city now that we're evaluating, or they just don't. You can't do the classes or programs under the current guidelines and restrictions. And so we're going to see, unfortunately, a reduction in those programs for the spring and summer that include our very popular adult sport leagues, our youth sport leagues, and we're just going to have to put a hold on those probably until the fall. But that being said, our parks remain open, our trails remain open. The weather's going to be great this week, and we just hope that people continue to follow the guidelines. Just because the parks are open, it doesn't mean that you can bring your soccer team out there or have baseball practice. You still have to follow those the guidelines that are in place with using social distancing and staying with your families, but still enjoying the amenities that we have. The weather's going to be great for the next looks like at least 10 days, and I worry that people are going to think that means we can ignore the orders and guidelines. I think many people saw what happened over the weekend with the city of LA pouring literally tons of sand into the skate park at Venice Beach. We would never do something that draconian, certainly, but we don't want to put any further restrictions on our parks or trails. So as long as people follow the guidelines, we can keep them open.
Sure, yeah. You'd hate to have to do something like that, and I know that wouldn't happen here in our city, but it's tough when citizens are forcing the authorities' hands like that. You mentioned the statistics and where we're going with the numbers here in Santa Clarita. You even had some graphs with you at yesterday's update. It was really impressive. But those graphs seem to demonstrate a couple of things. First of all, our valley really is mirroring the county, kind of in terms of peaks and dips. And while it's still early to make solid declarations, we seem to have kind of hit a bit of a peak back on April 3rd or 4th, and then another one at the end of last week. And this weekend seemed to have dropped off a little bit. And at the same time, we've seen groups in LA County and other parts of the country getting a little antsy. It's been a good 5-6 weeks since we've all been kind of in close quarters there at home, and folks are starting to push the restrictions to be lifted a little bit, or eased anyways. So are you and the city council thinking about the possibility of maybe easing restrictions before the previously set May 15th deadline, or is that something we're holding fast to?
It's important to remember that the restrictions that have been put on place and the stay-at-home orders are not made by the city councils or the county governments. They're made by the Department of Public Health. And Santa Clarita is covered under the LA County Department of Public Health, and the health officer who really has the authority to make those types of decisions. So even if the council said, our numbers are really low here in the city, we're way ahead of the county, let's go ahead and open businesses, in Santa Clarita. We don't have the authority to do that. And if a business said, well, we heard the city of Santa Clarita said we could open our business, the county can still come in and shut them down and then fine them for operating illegally. So we would be doing a disservice to our businesses and residents if we tried to circumvent the public authority that the health department has. And so, you're seeing some other states making their decisions, even some other counties. I know over the weekend, Ventura County took steps to reopen their beaches and move a few other businesses into the essential category. Riverside County is moving to open their golf courses and others. But again, that is a county by county decision. And in LA County, I just don't see any real change until that May 15th timeline that was extended last week. And I would hope that by May 15th, you got you're 2 months into this now. There's pretty good data, and I would hope to see the county allow for maybe meetings in small groups now, that the medical procedures are allowed to open. I personally think dentists and optometrists and ophthalmologists and audiologies companies and orthodontic companies all, to me, should be part of that first wave of opening, because many people would say a dentist is an essential service, and oral care, vision care, hearing care, all of that could very easily be deemed essential. And you combine that, because they are a medical business, they probably have the infrastructure in place to ensure the protection of their employees and their patients. And so I would hope to see that. I don't have any insight that that'll be the case, but that stands to reason to me.
Okay, so but again, that's all going to be a county decision, not a city council decision. I know I do need to get to the optometrist. It's time to update my glasses. But to some of us, it's much more important than to see good is to look good. And I know you listen to the show every day, but you may not be watching on Facebook Live. Mayor Smyth, I look horrible. I need a haircut like nothing doing. So what about the possibility of people getting creative with their hairdresser or their barber and maybe going in one at a time? Is that something that's that we can afford to get creative with?
At this point, anybody that is looking to do that with someone who is not their part of their family, if you don't have a barber or a hairdresser or a manicurist in your family, you are violating the order. If you're bringing someone to your home to cut your hair, or you are going to your friend's house or someone to have those services provided, you are violating the order. And my concern continues to be the only way we can get out of this as quickly as possible is to aggressively follow the orders that are in place. I do not want to be in quarantine. I don't want these stay-at-home orders to last any one day longer than they should. And if people are ignoring the guidelines, all that's going to happen is that they will be extended, and that doesn't help anybody. Believe me, I look at my Facebook Live updates, and going back to the first one a month ago to where I am now, and I absolutely I could use a haircut just as much as everybody else, and that'll be high on my list of things to do when it's lifted. But until then, for the next 4 weeks or so, people are going to have to really try to buckle in and grind this out, because all the studies show that the biggest threat is people who have contracted the virus but are asymptomatic, and then you are passing it along unknowingly, and that's how you get that huge community spread that so far we've been doing a pretty good job of avoiding. And you look at Santa Clarita, and we're at 270 or so cases since the first one was diagnosed in March. Santa Clarita is almost 300,000 people when you include the entire Santa Clarita Valley. So while our numbers may be higher, if you look at the Department of Public Health's website, we're one of the higher raw numbers. Well, we're one of the highest population centers in LA County as well. So when you look at it, just at the pure numbers, 270 plus that have contracted the virus over the last 4+ weeks, in a population of almost 300,000, 35 current hospitalizations, 3 confirmed resident deaths. You can see that we're doing okay. We're certainly doing better than most, and we want to keep it that way and hopefully see those numbers decline over the next several weeks.
Okay, Mayor Smyth, I want to apologize to you and my listeners. We've got a few questions on the Facebook Live feed, but my engineer Shane is pushing me. We've got to take a quick commercial break. Are you able to stick around, or I know you've got so much going on. Do you need to go, and we can send those in to you if you need?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I can circle back real quick, take a couple questions, and then I'll have to head out after that. But sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, we'll make it quick. Thank you so much. We need to take that quick break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
We salute our veterans who sacrificed for our freedom.
Santa Clarita veteran Bill Reynolds.
Each week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Hi, this is Dr. Palucki, and as an essential service, we'll be open throughout the coronavirus crisis with increased sterilization protocols and staggered scheduling to improve social distancing. If you prefer to stay at home, please download my Healthy Living COVID-19 program on the KHTS Coronavirus Experts page. It's a 30-day online plan with healthy recipes, stress reduction videos, home-based exercises, and supplement guidelines to stay healthy throughout this crisis. We also have several home-based plans for neuropathy, diet, exercise, and home-based rehabilitation. You can schedule a free phone consultation at 661-753-9340 and order any of our immune-enhancing supplements from the products page at drpalucki.com. I'm Dr. Thomas Palucki, and I invite you to come out of this crisis better than ever.
And now, a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. Ribs were made for the barbecue, but here's a great cooking tip.
The best way I like to cook the ribs is in the oven, cover them about an hour, 350, then put them on the barbecue for about 15 to 20 minutes, turn them a few times just to get them nice and brown.
Ribs, chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest ribs in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 on the FM dial and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. We're here this morning with Mayor Cameron Smyth. He's been gracious enough to stick around with us for one more quick break before he heads out. He's got some important things to do in and around our community. But we did want to get to your questions. There are a few listeners, Mayor Smyth, who have posted their questions here on Facebook Live. Steve wants to know, what's going on with the districting and the Independent Citizens Commission that is forming?
So I'll take those in reverse order. The Independent Citizens Commission, I don't really have any insight into that. That is not tied to the city. It's my understanding there are individuals that want to participate in the districting process, and they are wanting to put a coalition or a committee together, which is great, and we want to have as much public participation as possible, but that is not anything that is directed or sanctioned by the council. The council is meeting today to discuss the potential litigation around the effort to move the city into council districts versus the at-large system that we have now, and we will take that item up today in our closed session.
Okay. Now, James is asking a question that I know a lot of our small business owners and our residents are wondering about. So if we are released to go back to work on May 15th, do you know what the plan looks like? Will there be, who will they release first? Is there going to be an easing back into things, or is it just going to be turn the faucet on full bore on May 15th?
Yeah, I think the analogy that many have used, which I think is a good one, is it's certainly not going to be a light switch and a complete everything is green lit to open. It's going to be more like a sunrise, that it's going to be slow, and I think there will be a number of businesses that I hope will be deemed essential come May 15th, but there won't be all. And then probably another 2 weeks later, June 1st, you may see others that are released, and that will continually happen hopefully throughout the summer. But I think on May 15th, it is not by any means a all clear sign for everyone to open. I have not heard any insight into what the businesses might be designated for opening on May 15th, but I hope that we'll have some heads up beforehand so that businesses have time to prepare, if they can, to notify their employees and their customers or patients that they're able to re-up.
Okay, so and again, that's probably going to be mostly a county decision. Javier is
not mostly. Not mostly. It's exclusively a state and county decision. The only authority we have at the city is over city facilities, like we have chosen to keep our parks open and trails. But from a business standpoint, that's all going to be county or state.
That's a good point to make. Thank you very much. Javier's asking about youth sports, and with the cancellation of spring sports, obviously, we start to look forward to the fall sports. He asks, how long before youth sports can start back up? My son is supposed to play football in the fall, and it sounds like we should be able to play, but what's the mayor's take on football in September?
I certainly hope that is going to happen, that fall sports are going to be able to start up. But you look at LA Unified, and they're saying that you can't have any on-campus activities through the summer, and so that would impact all fall sports. If you can't practice on the fields or train in the gym, there's no way they can start off the season. So that that hasn't been decided here in Santa Clarita or at the CIF level.
Sure.
But there may end up being a delay to the fall sports season, that maybe practices can't start up until August when school starts, maybe, and so then you start the practice and it gets pushed back, and maybe an abbreviated season. But that is certainly something that I, as a parent, am very concerned of. My kids compete in high school sports as well, and I worry about their ability to play. But ultimately, that decision has yet to be made.
Yeah, because the kids need that training camp in order to prepare, because otherwise, if you shorten that period, you're looking at secondary effects of kids getting injured and things like that. Last question, Mr. Mayor, and then I know you've got to go. Elizabeth is asking if the City Council is considering any anti-stalking legislation that she's proposed. She says it's a long time coming. You know what, as I read through this, Elizabeth, it sounds like you should take this up and maybe file a restraining order against or your stalker or whoever that may be. We'll have Elizabeth contact you directly, Mr. Mayor.
Well,
I do want to thank you for...
I would actually prefer that Elizabeth not contact me any further, in that, it's a awkward situation for us all.
Okay. I will definitely let her know. Mom, you leave the mayor alone. Okay.
That's right.
Mayor Smyth, we appreciate you coming on to update the community, all your time, your hard work, your effort, and we also certainly appreciate you playing around with us. You have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Matt. You too.
Take care. We've got a couple things to take care of, but do stick around when we come back. We've got a very special message for you that you won't want to miss, a little bit of a food for thought. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you'll find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much more. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Great healthcare just got easier and more convenient in Canyon Country. Facey Canyon Country is now open directly off the Soledad Canyon exit off the 14 freeway. The 37,000 square foot clinic houses Facey Medical Group primary care physicians, pediatricians, and specialists. Facey has easy 24/7 online appointment scheduling for PCPs and PEDS. For more information or to make an appointment, visit facey.com. That's FACEY.com.
He broke records and piloted the F-18 Super Hornet in combat. Answering our nation's call, he served with honor. Then Mike Garcia returned home to his family, to a far worse California from where he grew up. Now, Garcia's next mission: cut taxes, clean up homelessness in our cities. With California on the brink, we need a fighter to answer the call once again. Mike Garcia for Congress.
I'm Mike Garcia, and I approve this message.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Your building sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new, larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you with a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new, bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon, or call 298-9442.
This is Suzette Martinez Valadares. Many child care centers are closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The child care providers that are open are serving our essential workforce and finding it very difficult to find or purchase the supplies needed to keep their facilities clean and children healthy. Our healthcare professionals are fighting to save lives. First responders and law enforcement are bravely serving our community, and our grocery store clerks are keeping our local markets stocked. This is our chance to help them. This is why we are launching Operation Childcare. Our mission is to collect donations for local early childhood education providers serving our frontline essential workforce. Donations needed include hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray, disposable gloves, and masks. These donations can be dropped off at KHTS Radio, located at 24320 Main Street in Newhall, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday.
You might not know the difference between a fade, a pompadour, a cropped fringe, or faux mohawk, but the Sport Clips Guy Smart stylists sure do. We know you don't think about haircuts 24/7. That's Sport Clips' job. That's why Sport Clips specializes in haircuts for men and boys. Sport Clips has turned something you have to do into something you want to do. You don't ever need an appointment at Sport Clips, and you'll walk out feeling like an MVP. Guaranteed. Sport Clips at the Santa Clarita location nearest you.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. You are listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. Got a few exciting things for you here to take advantage of this week, and good news is they're all incredibly accessible and they are all free. That's the way I like my entertainment. First of all, did you know that the Lyrid Meteor Shower is back? The Lyrid Meteor Shower peaks this week. It is the old faithful of the annual meteor showers, and it'll be reaching its peak this week. The April Lyrids this week coincide with the new moon, meaning there won't be any moon out there to distract from the light of that meteor shower. There's going to be absolutely no lunar interference, ensuring a great view. Meteors can be seen any night through April 25th on their peak night, which occurs tonight, Tuesday, April 21st, and into the early hours of Wednesday, April 22nd. As many as 10 to 20 meteorites per hour may be visible under dark, clear skies. It's going to be nice and clear out there tonight, so head on out there. The peak usually lasts for just a few hours. It's predicted that this year's maximum will occur at 11 p.m. Pacific tonight. So stay up a little bit later, get out there and catch a meteor shower. It's considered to be good to excellent timing for observations across much of North America. So do enjoy that meteor shower tonight and tomorrow night. iLEAD Schools is also offering a free webinar series for the next several weeks. This week, the iLEAD team presents What Does It Take to Lead Remotely? I know a lot of us have been discussing how the way we do what we do is shifting, and it's certainly a different skill set, something new that we're all learning, how to do things remotely. This webinar, it's an entire series, and it's intended for teachers, families, students, and the entire community. Everyone is welcome. The registration link is a little bit awkward, so I'm going to post it on our Facebook feed. But you click on that registration link, sign up, get the details. That is this Thursday, I believe at 1 p.m. So again, 1 hour webinar on what does it take to lead remotely. I'll paste the link in the Facebook feed. And speaking of webinars, do you remember the philosophy that we talked about a couple weeks ago? Love and Logic. Love and Logic is absolutely a fantastic philosophy. It's one of many out there, but it deals with basic human dynamics, and the goal is just a huge win-win for parents, for teachers. I don't tell anybody, but I've used it as a boss. It just works great. It eliminates the emotion. We tend to get emotionally wrapped up into arguments and protests and managing people, and it just takes the emotion out of it and allows us to just calmly deal with things logically and rationally. And at the same time, when we're working with our children, it empowers them and allows them to become autonomous, responsible adults. So we check the emotion out of things, and at the same time, we grow our kids into independent adults. So there's a free Love and Logic seminar online. It's a parenting course. It's got 6 modules. Typically, you would pay $99 for this course, but they're offering it for free. You'll have a free 3-month access to all 6 of these modules. And if you're thinking, that you don't need it, trust me, you probably will eventually. I used to underestimate the power of Love and Logic, but when I started employing the strategies, I learned how powerful they are. So take advantage of that great offering. Again, really long URL. I'm just going to post it in the Facebook comments here on the show. And if you're listening to a tape of the show, I know we rerun sometimes in the evenings and on the weekends. Just head on over to KHTS Radio, or you can head over to hometownstation.com and check the archives for the show. This is, what are we now? April 21st. This is our April 21st show of Eye on the Valley, and you can check the links there. Again, Love and Logic is offering these 6 modules for the next 3 months completely free, and I think you're going to find a lot of really helpful resources there. I want to remind the community that Our schools are still delivering food completely free. And I loved hearing from Don, my boss, yesterday, as well as some of the other area superintendents, how food delivery is actually being extended. So schools are starting to deliver up to 3 meals a day, and some schools, like iLEAD schools, are delivering food for the weekend. So on Friday, you pick up not only Friday's meals, but you pick up some food to get you through the weekend. So check your local district and school websites for information on that. I do know that SCVi and iLEAD schools are delivering food from 9 to 11 a.m. daily. So do check out your school websites. Now, I mentioned before the break, I do have a little food for thought. I was thinking over this weekend, and I sat down and put pen to paper and put together a little food for thought for you. The great pandemic of 2020 has afflicted us all. It's hit some so hard. Infection, isolation, unemployment, death. And yet for some of us, it's been somewhat of a reset button, the opportunity to slow down, reconnect, take stock, recalibrate. You know, on the show, I've lamented the absence of sports several times, but it's good and right that we've had the opportunity to get our priorities straight, to focus on what we truly value in life. It's wonderful to live in a country where we're so prosperous that we can focus so much time, energy, and resources on sports, the arts, and diversion. And it'll be great to get back to them. But as we all begin to recover and normalize, let's not go back to normal, okay? Let's level up to our new normal. Yes, I do look forward to cheering for the heroes of the field and stage again. I look forward to watching Clayton Kershaw get his World Series ring. And I look forward to going back to the Hollywood Bowl, yeah. But let's never forget the real heroes. Those who gave their all, not for personal glory, but for the glory of survival of others. Those who almost anonymously put themselves on the line to preserve the health, nourishment, education, and services for the rest of us. The teacher, the grocery store clerk, the doctor and nurse, the first responder, the delivery driver, the bus and taxi driver, the pharmacist, the sanitation worker, the programmer and network engineer. Undoubtedly, I'm leaving so many people off the list, but my point is that we all know who the true heroes are. We see them now. We see them. Let us never forget them. Let us never go back to our old myopia, allowing the images of these heroes to fade. We cannot remove these lenses through which we view our world. Again, let's not go back to normal. Let's level up to our new normal. The pandemic has taken away so much from us, but this is what we're taking back. A higher level of consciousness, a deeper level of understanding, a broader view of appreciation, a more focused sense of who our heroes are. I'm Matt Watson, and this is Food for Thought, and you're listening to your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Yes, Dunkin' is open. The continued stay-at-home orders have been rough on all of us, but Dunkin' is trying to make things just a little bit better. There are many ways to get your Dunkin' fix. You can carry out at both locations, or you can drive through at Canyon Country, or get curbside service at the Bouquet Canyon Dunkin'. Both offer Grubhub and Postmates delivery and are open till 6 p.m. Don't forget, use your Dunkin' app for on the go to order, pay, and accumulate points. Dunkin' cares about the SCV.
There's a very good reason Embrace Your Smile has been voted Santa Clarita's #1 orthodontist for 10 years in a row.
Honestly, it's our team.
Dr. Megan LeCornu.
I think for me, what makes it stand out is when I have patients that come up to me and say, we have never been in a doctor's office that feels like this. Our team is a family, and we really get along, and we are really passionate about what we do, helping our patients get the smiles they want and deserve.
Dr. Megan LeCornu of Embrace Your Smile Orthodontics.
Embrace your smile.
EmbraceYourSmile.com.
It's Eric Hallaby, CEO of TFS Financial Insurance Services. Many people suffered a loss in their retirement accounts due to recent market volatility, but none of our clients lost any money because our clients never move backwards with the market. Our clients keep their principal and the interest they've earned. And when the market grows, they have opportunity to earn interest tied to the market growth. We call that reliable retirement income. Sound good? We'd like to help you. Call us at Total Financial Solutions, 888-99-RETIRE. That's 888-99-RETIRE, 888-997-3847.
My tile is 20 years old and it makes my house look 20 years old.
For quality custom kitchen, bath, and tile, trust the professionals at Southern California Tile.
Hi, I'm Bob of Southern California Tile, and I invite you to come look at the wide selection of tile and stone at our showroom. We offer you personalized one-on-one service and help you see the many beautiful possibilities for improving your home.
Get some style at Southern California Tile.
In Placerita, by the entrance to Masters College.
KHTS, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 10 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
They appear to have a deal. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Days of talks reaching agreement on more money for small businesses after the initial relief fund quickly ran dry. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy telling Fox News there is a deal. It's expected to also include money for hospitals and testing and could get a Senate vote this afternoon. Senior advisor to the president, economist Kevin Hassett.
People have really put a lot of their partisan differences aside, at least when it comes time to do things like these small business loans and pass legislation to build the bridge to the other shore, which is what we have to do right now.
The number of U.S. coronavirus cases is nearly 800,000 now as the world total hits 2.5 million. That's not stopping the spread of a global conversation about reopening. 3 southern states are ready to start reopening parts of their economies.
Georgia could allow local businesses to reopen by week's end.
Documented COVID-19 cases have flattened and appear to be declining.
Governor Brian Kemp says Georgia is on track for a phase 1 easing of coronavirus-mandated restrictions. In Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee says reopening won't be all at once.
Social distancing works, and as we open up our economy, it will be more important than ever that we stay committed to that. Lives and livelihoods depend on it.
Tennessee and South Carolina's stay-at-home orders expire at the end of the month. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The end of April, just 9 days from now. Texas started a phased-in easing yesterday with state parks reopening, but Dallas is still home to one of the latest protests being held today. Fresh evidence of the pandemic's economic impact in the U.S., sales of existing homes plunging nearly 9% in March as real estate activity stalled. Stocks are tumbling again. The Dow's been down over 600 points. America is listening to Fox News.
Do not hire Franklin & Sons Electrical. The guy told me he'd shrink my monthly bill, and I'm like, dude, it's too small to read as it is.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then he's like, where's the circuit breaker? I'm like, bro, I didn't break anything.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
He told me I had a blown fuse. It's called a short fuse, and yes, I do have one, so watch yourself.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
From nurses to truck drivers, doctors to grocery clerks, the front lines in today's crisis are filled with brave actions every day. And you can do your part by completing the 2020 census. This simple effort online, by phone, or by mail will help impact the next 10 years of healthcare, schools, and roads. All of our first responders need your response. So go to 2020census.gov today. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
President Trump plans to stop immigration temporarily as part of fighting coronavirus.
National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien on Fox and Friends explaining why the president will soon sign an executive order halting all immigration into the U.S.
The president's trying to do everything he can to put the health of the American people first during this crisis. And so this is one step. It's not dissimilar to the restrictions on travel from China.
It's unclear how long such a suspension could last or what effect this will have on the operation of U.S. border crossings and on those who already have green cards. As a result of the coronavirus and attempts to curtail its spread, immigration to the U.S. has already been largely cut off. In Washington, John Decker, Fox News.
Democratic lawmakers are criticizing the move, accusing the president of trying to divert attention away from the administration's failures. A new report finds air quality in the U.S. getting worse.
The 2020 State of the Air report from the American Lung Association looks at 2016 through 2018 and finds that nearly 5 in 10 Americans live in counties with unhealthy ozone or particle pollution levels. That's about 150 million people. The report says Los Angeles holds the top spot as the city with the worst ozone pollution in the country, a ranking it's held for 20 of the 21 years the report has been done. California holds the top 5 spots for most polluted cities. 2020 marks the 50th anniversary of the Clean Air Act. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Even legendary quarterbacks have to follow social distancing rules. The mayor of Tampa, Florida, says newly signed Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady was asked to leave a shutdown park. A City of Tampa tweet said the Parks and Rec team can't wait to welcome back Brady and the entire community. Elisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Hi, I'm Pastor Rusty from Real Life Church with a moment of encouragement. Can I take a moment and pray for all of our frontline healthcare workers? God, would you keep them safe and healthy? God, would you help them to be knowledgeable about the diagnoses and treatments of this disease? God, would you help them to stay clear-minded in the midst of surrounding panic? God, would you deliver them from anxiety for their own loved ones? God, would you give them compassion for every patient in their care? God, would you provide for them financially, especially if they fall ill and are unable to work? And God, would you help us in healthcare to exhibit extraordinary peace so that many would ask about the reason for our hope? God, would you help us to do good and to be good? We'll get through this the way we get through everything, together.
If you would like prayer, text the word prayer to 661-270-7788.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Dutton Plumbing, this is Eric.
Son, it's Mother. I was calling to let you know I just bought 10 cases of water for me and Eunice. We tried shoving it into the pantry, but it won't fit. Can you tell me where to shove it?
Never mind the water bottles, Mom. I just installed that new Dutton Plumbing water filtration system for you, remember? Our water filtration systems actually produce bottled quality water out of every faucet in the house, even your shower. So you'll never run out of pure, clean water again.
That's great, son. When are you installing it?
Mom, it's already installed.
I better call Eunice. She could really use a water filtration system. She drinks a lot of water, and she also pees a lot.
Mom!
DuttonPlumbing.com.
Dutton Plumbing's water filtration systems remove all harmful chemicals in your water and protects your health. Never run out of pure, clean water again. Right now, save on Dutton's water filtration system. Learn more at DuttonPlumbing.com.
City Councilman Bob Keller here. Keep it tuned to 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS, hometownstation.com, for the latest information regarding COVID-19. KHTS will have both national and local news and information during this unprecedented time. For more, go to the KHTS website or the KHTS Facebook page. KHTS is also available online in the free app for iPhone and Android. Continue to social distance, only going out if it's absolutely necessary, and continue to check on friends and family. With your help, we will flatten the curve and come through this stronger than ever.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, your host. You're listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. My next guest is the most recent member of the iLEAD Schools Maker Team. The iLEAD Maker Team is a group of curriculum specialists that coach, train, and otherwise support the teaching staff at SCVi and all of our iLEAD schools. Nicole joined us this past summer, but brings tremendous experience and expertise to the team. Nicole Huguenin grew up in Sandpoint, Idaho, a small artsy town in the Pacific Northwest, just a stone's throw away from Canada. In fact, she still lives there today, and just last fall I had the opportunity to go up and visit her, and she and I stood around and we threw stones at Canada. It was great. Nicole is a graduate of Sandpoint High School. She's a bulldog. In fact, she loved being a bulldog so much that she parlayed that into becoming a Gonzaga bulldog, receiving her bachelor's degree in education, specializing in teaching and special education. She later received her master's degree from Lesley University in integrating the arts into the curriculum, which is why we brought her here today. She worked over 25 years with the Pend Oreille School District in her hometown, where she created an innovative and dynamic multi-age program that we're going to be talking about as well. She joined the iLEAD team in 2019, where she specializes in all things concerning elementary education, as well as taking the points on the arts. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matt. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. So you started your career back home in Idaho. In fact, you still live there. Can you give us a little bit of a background on your career there in Sandpoint?
Sure. I started working at the Lake Pend Oreille School District in North Idaho in 1993. I worked for a couple years. I taught in a developmental preschool, and then I taught in a 1-2 combo class, and then I stayed home for a few years with my kids. And then I spent 18 years at Farm & Stidwell Elementary School, and I had the pleasure of teaching Title I reading there. I taught some combo classes. I spent 10 years in first grade, which, if any of you ever have taught first grade, it's like Saturday Night Live every day in the classroom, lots of laughter. You never know what's going to come out of their mouths. And then the past 5 years, I got to develop an experiential learning program that was a multi-age project-based infused program for our school district. So, and I've also taught some parenting classes along the way, some college classes. I love to learn, so if I can teach it, I can learn it. So
that's awesome. You love to learn because I know you love passing on that learning. So I wanted to ask about that experiential learning program. That sounds really interesting. Can you describe that for us?
Sure. Our superintendent approached a couple of us, my teaching partner and I, and we innovated the experiential learning program for our district. It was a district-wide program when it started. And our superintendent and a couple of families really wanted to offer options to families that preferred a more family-style school experience. So it started out as a 1st through 6th grade multi-age program. And when I tell people that, they back away from me slowly. They think I'm a little crazy to take that on. But
so pause there for a second. You taught 1st through 6th grade. So you had 6-year-olds through, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, all in the same classroom? 12-year-olds. Is that how old a 6th grader is? Okay.
Yep, 11, 12, yep.
So you had 1st through 6th grade all in the same classroom. Okay, how did that work?
Yes.
What was that like?
It wasn't easy at first, but we problem solved. We tried a lot of things, and we had the ability to throw out things that weren't working and try new things. So we ended up doing assessments, like the math assessment, to find out children's instructional levels. And then we grouped kids based on their instructional levels, and we taught those children in small groups for their core subjects, reading, writing, math. And then for whole group, we did social emotional learning, like our morning meeting. We did nature school whole group. We did a lot of science whole group. We did some projects whole group, like a Rube Goldberg project. We did that whole group. And along the way, we found out that kids, just because they're 6, doesn't mean that their instructional level is in 1st grade. They may need 3rd grade reading, and they may need 4th grade math, or a 6th grader may need 2nd grade reading and 8th grade math. So it became a juggling act at first, but we found a way to incorporate learning menus so that kids were doing productive work independently, and they could, they weren't just doing busy work packets. They were doing their own learning paths, and then they'd come to our small groups. So it worked really well.
It's interesting. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, if you care about test scores, our test scores shot through the roof. Like, their growth was exponential. And we didn't know if teaching in small, like 20, 25-minute groups would be effective, and it was very effective for growth.
That's actually a really good point to make, because I know, a lot of, I've taught multi-age groups. When I taught at SCVi, we taught a multi-age, I taught 4th and 5th grade, and it's interesting. A lot of the 4th grade families were really excited, and the 5th grade families were worried about test scores. If my 5th grader is in with a bunch of 4th graders, isn't going to adversely affect his test scores. And to hear that even your 5th and 6th graders, their test scores did really well.
And yes, after a few years, we tracked our children that went on to middle school, and they were getting straight A's because they could manage their time super effectively because of the learning menus. And they were, we exited children that were receiving special education services because of our implementation plan. So it was very exciting.
Well, that is fantastic. Like I said, multi-age learning is a huge part of the philosophy at SCVi and our other iLEAD schools. It's interesting in schools where we work to prepare kids for life. Almost all the time, we group kids by their age. But there's almost nowhere else in life that's done except maybe Little League sports. But then even when you get into the real world, you've got 20-year-olds and 40-year-olds playing professional sports together. Everywhere else in life, it's integrated. You've got to work with people from other generations, other backgrounds, other experiences, which is why we bring kids together on that multi-age plane. We include special education learners in the general education classroom. We want our classrooms to reflect the world. And I had the opportunity when I visited you up there in Idaho. You took me to Farm and Stidwell to see that program. It really was beautiful. But
that was
you chose to leave there. So when and why did you decide to join iLEAD?
So I've been following iLEAD for years now. Don Evenson, one of the founders, used to actually attend Farman Elementary School, where I taught for a lot of years. And so I've been tracking what she's been creating with Amber, and I was just loving the iLEAD values. And at one point, we had received a grant for a makerspace at our school. Oh, no, sorry, let me back up. When I started the ELP, I needed project-based learning training, and I went to iLEAD for a training that was great, and it helped me get on the right track with project-based learning. So that was 6 years ago.
I remember that.
I had a little taste of the iLEAD vision, and what I was really impressed by is how incredibly kind and empathetic the iLEAD people were to me, and plus they did think I was a little nuts for doing 1st through 6th grade, but that's okay. And then just about a year and a half ago, I guess, we received a grant for a makerspace at our school, and I called Don and I said, Don, what do we need in our makerspace? Because I know they have an excellent makerspace at a couple of the schools.
Yeah.
iLEAD Lancaster has a beautiful one. And we had a conversation, and I think at that point in my career, I had taught 20 years in the same school district, and I had a really good idea of what education looked like in our little tiny town, and I was ready to grow again. And it was Don and I had a conversation, and I applied with iLEAD, and I took a huge leap of faith, which I'm really grateful that I did, and I started with iLEAD last July. So I'm so excited about all the learning experiences I've had. It's been quite a growth spurt.
Well, we're grateful to have you. You've already really made your mark on our schools and in our classrooms. Now, we've mentioned this this beautiful little town in Idaho where you still live. But if you're in Northern Idaho, how are you able to support and work with our schools here in Southern California and our other school locations?
Well, Matt, I travel quite a bit. My kids have both graduated from high school, and I'm out there. I'm an empty nester. And so now I travel quite a bit to Santa Clarita and to our other schools out of state. And I also, like everyone's experienced now, experiencing this distance learning that's happening, and that can be very effective. And so I do a lot of Zoom calls and Zoom meetings and Zoom trainings. It makes me think of that song from the 70s, the Zoom, wanna Zoom, 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 wanna Zoom. Anyway. So I can teach remotely, and it's very effective and collaborate remotely. So that's how I accomplish that.
That's terrific, and I know a lot of our schools really do appreciate the support that you provide, even when you're not physically on their campus. Although, like you said, I think you're chalking up some frequent flyer miles, so do take advantage of those as soon as we can. Now, when you support our schools, it's largely in the areas of elementary curriculum, but you've also taken the point for our team in the arts. I know your master's degree is in integrating the arts into the curriculum. Why are the arts so important in education, Nicole?
Oh, I don't think this show is long enough, but I think I can pare it down to say that the arts really foster creativity, and art education allows students to express themselves and think outside of the box. And in today's world, the ability to think imaginatively and bring fresh ideas to the table are essential to innovation and progress. And also teaches them collaboration, it teaches confidence, and cultural awareness and empathy, I think, are really important, because we get to explore other people's cultures and learn to see how they might be living and expressing themselves artistically, and that develops empathy, which is, I know, very important in iLEAD. It develops critical thinking. I could go on and on and on. And what I love about the arts, and some people, when I say integrating the arts in curriculum, they think visual arts, like I can't draw or paint, so they don't really think they can participate in the arts. But the arts is more about the process and the creative process and journey of developing something. For example, a play or a poem or a creative movement piece, and it could be visual arts or a sculpture or a metal sculpture. I mean, there are so many ways to express yourself through the arts. So I think it's a great way to teach through the arts, because all children can be successful with that. So
absolutely. When we talk arts, we're also talking about drama, music, poetic expression, things like that. You mentioned creativity, Nicole, and that is oftentimes when we talk creativity, I don't know, maybe it's just me, my mind tends to go toward writing a song or developing an oil painting or something like that. But creativity feeds into some of the things that employers are looking for most. Like, we talk about problem solving. Well, the best way to be the most effective at problem solving is injecting creativity. And when we expand on what the arts can mean, the first time I really got a full grasp of what integrating arts was is when we took a bunch of kids on a field trip to JPL out here in Pasadena, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and we started looking at models of the Mars rover and the different ships that they've sent into outer space, and we were talking about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And that's when I realized that there's the A in STEAM, arts, because the Mars rover is one of the most beautiful pieces of artwork I've ever seen. It's gorgeously creative and innovative, and it wasn't necessarily done just for aesthetic purposes, right? It's going to be out on Mars. Who's going to be able to appreciate it? But it was done in order to solve all these different types of problems. such tremendous creativity is put in by these JPL scientists. It's so important. It's not just art for art's sake. Art really does help us develop every other area of our lives and of our beings. And so you bring all this to the table, your tremendous experience, obviously your master's degree. I know you bring that to the table with you every single day. So when you're working with our staff, we talk about training and things like that. What kind of training have you been able to provide for our staff?
Well, I've had the pleasure of working with Sarah McDaniels. She's the arts coordinator for iLEAD, and she's also the producer of this radio show, I believe.
Woohoo! Sarah takes care of me every single day here.
Go, Sarah! And she and I have collaborated to write some grants for LACO grants, and can you explain what that acronym is? I don't remember.
LACO is the Los Angeles County Office of Education. They kind of oversee everything that happens in our public schools here in Los Angeles County. So LACO,
okay.
Yeah.
So we've received a grant to work with Jonas Basom, and he has the Dramaworks program, and he has been a coach and a facilitator to our facilitators that aren't typically arts educators. And he is teaching them how to use drama and to teach any subject through drama. So vocabulary through a drama activity. So it gets kids up and moving, gets them out of their comfort zone a little bit. He really is aware of social emotional learning. So he says you don't want to put kids on the spot and make them feel embarrassed because a lot of children are introverts. And he's just been an excellent collaborator. And so that's one of the things I've been working on with Sarah and Jonas. And then also I did a professional learning activity on the 13th with 81 facilitators in a Zoom room. That was fun.
Wow, I bet those boxes were really, really small.
It was my first time, too, and I have a lot of empathy for all of the teachers out there that are facilitating online. It's a whole different learning curve, but I love to learn. So I did an arts and families activity and shared a choice board with them that they could share with their families, and it included drama, rhythm circles, an arts activity from the homeschoolinganswers.com website, lots of other things. So those are some of the things I've done.
I do want to talk about that website because I know you've put a lot of resources up on that site, some really cool and interesting resources that our listeners are going to want to hear about, but we do need to take a quick commercial break. We're talking with Nicole Huguenin, an elementary education and arts specialist with iLEAD Schools. Like I said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but I want you to stay tuned. We'll continue this conversation in just a few minutes. For more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you'll find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye in the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
You choose your dry cleaner for convenience. Maybe it's time to choose a dry cleaner that is not only convenient, but does quality work at a reasonable price. Town Cleaners. They're in the center of our valley, and they offer free pickup and delivery anywhere in Santa Clarita. Town Cleaners, a dry cleaner who goes the extra step. Their stringent quality control ensures the highest quality cleaning and pressing for your garments. Town Cleaners on Soledad and Rainbow Glen.
Today for lunch, why not try The Sandwich Shop, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. The Sandwich Shop offers dozens of hot or cold, affordable, premium deli sandwiches. Gourmet soups and salads are also available. Regulars indulge in the cheesy focaccia rolls, which is a customer favorite. Then top it off with owner Charlie Chung's chunky chocolate chip cookies. Breakfast and catering is also available. The Sandwich Shop, since 1983, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. ValenciaSandwichShop.com to place your order.
Genghis Khan Mongolian Barbecue and Chinese Buffet. Healthy vegetables and lean meats. A low-carb treat. Create your own bowls with our delicious meats and always fresh vegetables. Then, blend in your own secret sauce. Feast at the all-you-can-eat buffet and barbecue for the same low price. A local favorite for over 25 years, Genghis Khan is still located on Lyons Avenue just east of the I-5. Enter between the Chevron and Shell gas stations. Come and see us soon at Genghis Khan.
This is Suzette Martinez Valadares. Many child care centers are closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The child care providers that are open are serving our essential workforce and finding it very difficult to find or purchase the supplies needed to keep their facilities clean and children healthy. Our healthcare professionals are fighting to save lives. First responders and law enforcement are bravely serving our community, and our grocery store clerks are keeping our local markets stocked. This is our chance to help them. This is why we are launching Operation Childcare. Our mission is to collect donations for local early childhood education providers serving our frontline essential workforce. Donations needed include hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray, disposable gloves, and masks. These donations can be dropped off at KHTS Radio, located at 24320 Main Street in Newhall, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday.
He broke records and piloted the F-18 Super Hornet in combat. Answering our nation's call, he served with honor. Then Mike Garcia returned home to his family, to a far worse California from where he grew up. Now, Garcia's next mission: cut taxes, clean up homelessness in our cities. With California on the brink, we need a fighter to answer the call once again. Mike Garcia for Congress.
I'm Mike Garcia, and I approve this message.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. You're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. We're talking with elementary education and arts specialist with iLEAD Schools, Nicole Huguenin. Nicole, you talk about how much training and effort iLEAD Schools is putting into the arts, not just for our arts teachers, but for all of our staff. I love to see iLEAD's commitment to the arts, not just when there's budget for it, not once everything else is done, but as a core part of the curriculum. And we talk about not just the dedicated arts facilitators. Do you know how many staff members we have at iLEAD that are dedicated to the arts, though?
I think there's over 25 dedicated arts facilitators, teachers, with numerous vendors that provide art classes to our homeschool students. There's also facilitators that might teach English, and then they also teach jewelry making or something. So they have quite a few facilitators dedicated to that. And we are working with a larger group of general education facilitators who are piloting our arts integration programs.
So it's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just think it's our goal that every facilitator feels comfortable in integrating some form of arts into their teaching. It could be a doorway for some kiddos that might not have success in traditional academics, but they can really shine through the arts. So.
That is really interesting. You know, I remember when I first started doing teacher trainings and things like that, I used to ask in groups of mixed educators, how many of you are reading teachers? And I would look around the room and I'd wait, and I would eventually say, you know, you should all be raising your hand. I don't care if you teach PE or two-dimensional art, we're all reading teachers. I look forward to the day when I ask the same question, how many of you are arts teachers? And everybody in the room raises their hand. That's so cool. Now, when we talk about supporting our families that are now doing distance learning at home, which is all of them, a lot of our parents are out there thinking, okay, great. They've got the arts lady on the line now. Not only do I have to be the math teacher, the reading teacher, the history and science teacher, but now I have to be the art teacher too. And you know, that can intimidate a lot of us. I don't even have paintbrushes or canvases. But what tips and resources can you give our families? Do you have arts projects or ideas that we can do with our kids at home?
Sure, I have lots of ideas. But first, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I commend all of these parents that have suddenly found themselves homeschooling. I, as a teacher, had a hard time with my own children this summer. So I can imagine the task you're asked to do. And I don't want you to think that you have to be the reading teacher, the math teacher, the science teacher. You're the parent. Just enjoy your children right now in this family time. So some activities that I have are on our homeschoolinganswers.com website. I've uploaded several videos that kids can do with things from around their house. I also, if you don't have a paintbrush, kids can paint with or can use recycled cardboard to make any kind of thing, sculptures. Kane's Arcade has this little boy in LA made a cardboard arcade out of boxes. It's pretty amazing what you can do with cardboard.
Definitely. Kane is my hero.
I love him. You can incorporate dance. You can have a dance party, do a chicken dance, do a freeze dance. You can have your whole family dress up as a character from things around your house and come to dinner in character and stay in character throughout dinner.
I love that.
Plain white paper, what kids can do with plain white paper and a pencil or some scissors and tape, it's just incredible. We used to put on plays. There are 6 of us in my family, and we'd string up some sheets and we'd put on a play or put on a circus, and someone would have to be the lion. And it just, any of that is so fun, and that's incorporating the arts. So go ahead, Matt.
I think it's just getting out of the way of creativity. Oftentimes that embarrassment or fear of being silly and playful like that is that learned fear of creativity. And if we just squash that fear, it'll go so far for our kids. It reminds me of an interview I saw with Neil deGrasse Tyson recently where he said, look, parents, if you can't teach your kids to be creative, that's fine. Just get out of the way and don't destroy it because they're already creative. So you've mentioned a couple times the website that we're curating, homeschoolinganswers.com. Parents, if you've got your computers with you, I want you to toggle over really quickly and go to homeschoolinganswers.com. That's with an ING, homeschoolinganswers.com. Nicole, would you walk us through this really quickly? Because I was looking yesterday, and even though I'm on this website almost every day, I had a little bit of a hard time finding the arts section here, and I know we can work with our web developers to improve that. But once you know where it's at, it's not hard. So if I'm on my landing page here at homeschoolinganswers.com, are you there, Nicole? Can you help walk us through it?
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm not seeing the button that was there the other day. But if they go to quick links at the top of the page.
Okay, so I see on the right-hand side there's a long menu that says quick links. There's getting started, sample schedules, curriculum ideas. I don't see the arts there, though. Are you talking about?
I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Under the making. Oh, go ahead.
Nope. You lead us through it.
Under the Maker Learning channel are where some of my arts and crafts videos are. We also have excellent Maker Math with our incredible Amber Soto.
Okay, so if we scroll down to a little bit further to that yellow bar, it says Curriculum and Activity Ideas. Go to Maker Channel. Okay, there's a blue button that says Maker Channel. Okay, I see Amber. She was on the show last week. She's got some cool videos. I took a guess at how many globes she's got in that jar there. Okay, so the third section down, you've got some arts and crafts ideas.
Yes, and I tested the first one. It's called Lovies. These are some little monsters that kind of just came to me in my art studio. And I think we all need some more Lovies in our life right now.
Definitely.
So I had my sister put on the video for my 4-year-old niece, Bella, and she was able to draw these and paint these Lovies. So she's 4. So if a 4-year-old can do it, anyone can do it. And I really emphasize when you're making art, it's whatever your expression is of it. There's not a right or wrong way. And if you don't like the end product, you can chuck it. It's just a process.
Fantastic.
It's a process and creativity. So.
And I'm scrolling. You've got 5 different videos here with all different, it's not these expensive materials that you've ordered online or from an art studio. I see you're working with basic watercolors. In one of them, you're just working with pine cones and rocks and sticks, things like that you found on your daily hikes. There's yarn and popsicle sticks.
And the golden golden toilet paper tubes, save those. Those are really good for art projects.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they're also good keepsakes for the pandemic of 2020. Absolutely. Okay, and Nicole, are you going to continue to post more videos?
Yes, I'm going to post one called Adventure Hopscotch coming up soon, and I'm going to show how to make a mud kitchen, and several more videos are coming. So
a mud kitchen, that sounds so fun.
It is so fun, and kids are 100% washable. That's what Lisa Latimer from Agua Dulce says.
That is fantastic. That is terrific. So again, if you're looking for some art resources, whether it's to continue to curate that creative side in your kid, or if you just need a break and you need to tap into another side of the brain, head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com. Check out some of these videos. They are under Maker Channel, the Maker Channel link down there at the bottom of the page. Nicole's got all different kinds of really cool activities for you and your kids. Now, Nicole, is there anything else that you want to say to our listeners, to our families that are out there distance learning with their kids, homeschooling their kids?
Well, this has been going around on Facebook, but I'd like to read this letter to parents. It says, "Dear parent, don't stress about schoolwork. In September, I will get your children back on track. I am a teacher, and that's my superpower. What I can't fix is social-emotional trauma that prevents the brain from learning. So right now, I just need you to share your calm, share your strength, and share your laughter with your children. No kids are ahead. No kids are behind. Your children are exactly where they need to be. With love from all the teachers on the planet Earth."
I love that, Nicole. Thank you for sharing that. So those 3 key things that parents really need to focus on sharing with their kids is calm, strength, and laughter, so that the kids are still happy and healthy when they do get back into the classrooms. And then anything else that our parents are able to teach their kids or help their kids with, that's just all gravy on top, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Nicole, we really appreciate your time with us today, and I want to encourage our families, if anything that we're talking about really piques your interest and you're interested in iLEAD Schools, you can head over to any of our schools' websites. I want to highlight a couple of them for you. You know, over on the west side of the Santa Clarita Valley, we've got our flagship school, our founding school, SCVi. The website there is iLeadSantaClarita.org. We've also got on the east side of the valley, iLeadAguadulce.org, and I know a lot of you think, Agua Dulce, that's like way up there. Do you have any idea how close to Canyon Country and Saugus Agua Dulce is? I live in the heart of Saugus, and iLEAD Agua Dulce is actually closer to my house than SCVi is. So that's iLeadAguadulce.org. We've also got, if you're enjoying this online learning platform that we're all doing now, we've got our fully accredited online school. They're currently serving 3rd through 12th grade, but we're going to be working, I believe, with 2nd graders next year, maybe even as low as 1st graders in a full online curriculum. That's iLeadOnline.org. We've also got schools in Lancaster. You guessed it, iLeadLancaster.org, and there's iLEAD AV, which is just on the other side of Lancaster. So we've got lots of schools here for you in Southern California. We've also got a great homeschooling program. If you're enjoying kind of taking the helm, that is iLeadExploration.org. So just head on over to any one of those websites, click on the Enroll Now button. You will have virtual tours up soon, and you can get your child on the wait list for the fall. And in some grades, there are actually openings now. Nicole, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much, and keep posting. I know that you love doing it, and the videos that you're posting are really, really helpful. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. We do have to take our last commercial break, but please stay tuned. Christina Debray, our show's licensed marriage and family therapist, our official licensed marriage and family therapist, will be joining us next. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner there. You'll find updates on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools' Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVi, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLEAD's founding school, SCVi combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVi has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLEAD Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Town Cleaners Unsoledad is offering free dry cleaning for all first responders and medical personnel. Free pickup and delivery is also available. Call Mo at 250-1542. 250-1542. Town Cleaners on Soledad.
Santa Clarita Valley residents now have greater access to the excellent physicians and high-quality medical services for which Providence Holy Cross is known. Providence Holy Cross Health Center in Santa Clarita features state-of-the-art cancer and imaging technologies, as well as board-certified physicians in a variety of medical specialties. Quality and compassion from a healthcare provider you can depend on. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us at providence.org.
Due to the worsening situation and the Safer at Home order for Los Angeles County, Men Cryotherapy has decided to close. All memberships have been frozen until they're cleared and feel it's safe for their staff and customers to return. They hope everyone stays healthy and safe through this ordeal. They look forward to mending and helping everyone get back on track with their health and wellness journeys. For more information, go to mendcryotherapy.com.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. We're joined now by Christina Debray, a licensed marriage and family therapist who's got a remarkable story of resilience and determination. You know, oftentimes we're feeling like we're going a little bit stir crazy with the quarantine and being locked inside, although we are far from locked inside. The mayor told us this morning that the trails are still open, the parks are still open. Keep your distance, but get out and stretch your legs. But Christina, as a kid growing up with cystic fibrosis, was oftentimes confined to not just inside, but inside a hospital room as she continued to receive treatment for CF. She is a trauma and resilience specialist today, though. She's, like I said, got this great story of determination and overcoming what the doctors told her family was a death sentence, and she's moved her trauma into helping the rest of us work through ours. She's like I said, a trauma and resilience specialist, which is so important during these times and after these times. Christina is a graduate of Cal State Northridge, go Matadors, and Pepperdine University. She practices here in Valencia. She studied extensively areas including trauma, phobias, performance enhancement, attachment disorders, suicide prevention, grief, which we're all going through right now, and child and adolescent interventions. She's got more than 18 years of speaking experience and works with medical professionals, patients, schools, parents, and business professionals. Good morning, Christina. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to have you as always. Christina, yesterday we were talking about how dangerous it can be to neglect our mental health care needs. You know, a lot of times we think, we deny it, right? I'm okay. I don't need help. What will the neighbors think? You know, that kind of thing. But you talked about how dangerous it can be if we're neglecting our mental health care. But what if our listeners just aren't sure, right? They don't know. Wow, gosh, do I need to talk to somebody? I feel like I'm okay, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I kind of blew a diode yesterday, but that was a one-time thing. How do people know if they need treatment or not? Is it, is there a way to tell how we're doing, how our kids are doing? How can we measure this?
So there are so many different ways to answer this question, and this can, like so many of the other topics that we've talked about, we could talk about this for many days or weeks. So really some of the basic things are, is it causing significant distress in your life? So I use the scale 0 to 10, 0 being totally calm and at peace, 10 being the worst you ever felt in your life. Where are you on that scale as an average? Are you below 4? Are you below 7? Or are you above 7? And so when you're around, between 4 and 7, that's when you really need to be considering therapy. And when you're above 7, you absolutely need to get to a therapist as soon as possible. And I'm talking about an average. I mean, we're all going to have moments where we're above a 7. But I just mean this is sort of your emotional temperature, right? So if
kind
you're
of
running
your resting feel right now.
Yes. So,
okay.
And I know we're all a little bit higher because of everything going on with the coronavirus. So it's hard to gauge. The difficulty with this is it's just like how coronavirus started, is it's the kind of thing that can just grow exponentially. So, hey, you have one day where you're a 10 for 10 the whole day, and, then the next day you're at a 3 out of 10. Okay. But it can have this snowball effect, and things can unravel more quickly than we understand. And so sometimes it manifests as a frog in the pot of boiling water, where it happens slowly and you don't even realize it, and by the time you realize it, you're already getting boiled.
It's too late, yeah.
I never really want to say it's too late. It's just at that point, then you're really going to have to go to a specialty therapist. You're going to be spending a lot more time and money than you otherwise might have. But sometimes people are fine and then they're not fine. Mm-hmm. So that could be for a variety of reasons. So right now, we have a lot of incoming trauma. Like we talked about, this is complex trauma. This is a long-term issue. It's not just one thing. It's 100 or 1,000 different things happening at the same time over and over again, like a sort of traumatic Groundhog Day. And so when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling like nothing that we're doing seems to be helping, when your friends and family are tired of listening to you, you start, overusing something to try and alleviate your symptoms. Like you're eating to cope, you're drinking to cope, whatever it is. Maybe people have noticed and they've said something to you. I know right now with social isolation it might not be as obvious. Sure. So, some of the the emotional experience are feeling overwhelmed. I would say if you're feeling overwhelmed more than half the time, fatigue, rage, anger, resentment, feeling like you're having panic attacks, anxious or intrusive thoughts, right, where it's difficult to control your worry, feeling like you have a complete loss of interest in usual activities, feeling hopeless, and then this one's a hard one, but social withdrawal. So it's really hard during the coronavirus because this is just very different than normal society, and so it's hard to assess these things. And so in a way, the social distancing guidelines might be, in a way, enabling people who may already be struggling with these issues. So I know for some of the people that I've talked to who have anxiety and who don't like going out in public and are phobic of a lot of things, or who have OCD, some of these people are actually doing very well right now because they get to be locked up in their home, and that is socially acceptable right now. And so for other people, obviously it's the opposite effect. So it's going to impact everyone a little bit differently.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned social withdrawal, but we can still kind of monitor that. You know, I know a lot of folks are getting creative. I see the posts all the time of the Friday night happy hour with my friends on Zoom. And if that's something that normally you would do, and now you find yourself kind of saying to yourself, I don't want to see anybody right now, when you know that normally you would want to. That's a way to monitor it. So you talked about several things that we can do to monitor these levels in ourselves. You talked about pegging like those bookends. Maybe think of the time that we were most serene, most comfortable, most relaxed as a 1, the time that we were most stressed and felt most helpless as a 10, and then try to monitor ourselves. And what was that window you said when we get from about a 4 to 7 is when it's time to start reaching out?
Yes, I would say yes. So a lot of people will be in that window and they'll say, I can handle it, right? Sure. Yes, I'm distressed, but hey, I'm going to, start going for walks. I'm going to eat healthy, whatever it is. And, for some people they can, but for others that doesn't work. And so it's hard to be able to assess. One of the things that I tell people is it's better to go and pay for 5 to 10 therapy sessions when you're at that 4 to 7, than to wait until it gets to, a 7 out of 10. At that point, really, if you're consistently above a 7, that even might be a higher level of care than therapy, right? So you're more at risk to needing to go to, an outpatient treatment center, or in worst cases, the hospitalization. Or if you do go to therapy, you might need therapy 2 or 3 times a week. And then it can be more of a longer-term issue where you're looking at 6, 12, or 18 months in therapy.
And then there's also the cost of the fallout of whatever may have happened at home once you're consistently above that 7. So especially during these times, I want to remind our listeners to keep an eye on yourselves, keep an eye on your kids. And if you're struggling a little bit, reach out to your healthcare provider, or you can contact Christina directly at 661-513-4857. That's 661-513-4857. Or you can contact her on her website, ChristinaDebray.com. That's ChristinaDebray.com. I'll post that in the Facebook comments here. And Christina is also offering, very gracious offer during this time, a free 15-minute phone consultation. So if you just don't know, I'm not sure if I'm at a 4 or a 7, Christina, pick up the phone, give her a call, and she'll work with you for free for 15 minutes and then set up a plan for you. Christina, thank you so much for your help. Thank you for joining our show. That is all the time that we have for today. I want to thank you for listening, and our guests, Mayor Cameron Smyth, Elementary Education Arts Specialist Nicole Huguenin, and Christina Debray again. Please join us tomorrow and every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.